Hola, and welcome back to the Community College of Baltimore County School of Health Professions CAS workshop. We're doing the online version because of COVID-19. Hopefully you've taken a look at parts 1 and parts 2 to help you through your application. And if you still need a little more assistance, we're going to finish up that application right now. Thanks for chiming in. My name is Ebony Thomas Butler, and what you see on your screen here is the dashboard for the CAS application. Again, and I know you can't see it on this page, but the links will be at the bottom. The URL for this application is shp.liaisoncas.com, and then there's more to it. I'm going to put the link at the bottom. Make sure your link does not say ccbc.liaisoncas.com. That is an old link, so your URL should say shp.liaisoncas.com. I do want to mention a couple things before I actually go into the supporting information area. The first thing is that if you have a CCBC email address that you're using and you are not currently registered for classes or in progress with classes, you may not have access to that email address. So just bear that in mind as we move forward. If you're not registered at CCBC, usually I think after one semester will end the ability for you to use that email address. So if that's the case, you may want to use an outside email address, at least for this portion, because we send all notifications by email. All right, so here at the bottom of these 4 quadrants, these are the 4 quadrants again, we have supporting information. And I'm just picking up where I left off from part 2. Supporting information for most of our programs, not dental hygiene and not CASPA, is only these 2 sections. If you are with dental hygiene or CASPA, you're going to have an expanded area, and that's because a lot of colleges and universities use CASPA and ADIA DH CAS. There are just a lot of different schools. So they're collecting as much information as they possibly can to work for every single school. For us, for SHP.liaisoncas, that's just CCBC. It's just our programs. So we don't need as much information from you. So you're going to go into your CCBC credentials area, and that's literally what you would use to sign into your Simon account. Be sure to follow the directions at the top of the screen. If you are a CCBC student and need help with your username, here's a place to click. If you're not a CCBC student and haven't applied to the college, click here. And if you remember your username and password, the same one you used to log in to Simon, that's the same username and password you're going to use here. The next one is the release statement. Take your time, read through this. It's pertinent information about the expectations and policies of the School of Health Professions. So we're going to talk about, criminal background checks, your bloodborne pathogens, the honor code. You need to agree to all of these if you would like to proceed. Note here at the bottom, it says save and continue, and that's grayed out. That is because you haven't answered anything. But if I answer them, and this is presuming that you would have read them all, note that it does change to blue. So that's something I can save and continue with. I can save it now. It's fine. Save successfully. I've got a green check mark on the left side. This top part is green. And if I were to go back to my dashboard, you'll note that I now have 1 out of 2 sections completed here. Program materials. Now, I, of course, have several programs open, and that's kind of just to show people what's available and use them all as demonstration. But for the programs that you have selected, they'll all show here, and they all have different requirements. So let's say you're applying to one of the nursing programs. You're going to have a home page that you should take your moment and read. Just make sure you're doing everything the correct way. Look for any information that's pertinent to you. Verify again that the campus is what you want, the year is what you want, the track is what you want, all of this information at the bottom. And then come over to the top and click on questions. Some people never see this area. There's another tab here. It's a little bit different than the other quadrants. Of course, it's going to take its sweet time going, isn't it? So CCBC registered nursing programs, and you're going to sit back and you're going to answer these questions that are on this page. Now, there are quite a few questions, and I do apologize if any of them are repeated. We had a little bit of a setup issue, and then we couldn't undo it. Once you finish answering the questions, it'll give you a way to save it, and then you can move on. Now, if you're applying to a program, let's say like veterinary technology, that requires more information, you're going to have more tabs. So again, you have that home page with pertinent information. You have the questions that need to be completed. But you also, you'll see that the grayed out save button is here because I haven't completed the questions. You also have documents and recommendations. So documents for this program, you would literally scan them in. If you don't have access to a scanner at home, you can use, you don't have to use this one, I use one called CAM Scanner. That's CAM Scanner, CAM Scanner. And that is because it's free. I download it to my cell phone. You can take pictures of multiple documents or pictures of single documents. That's up to you. You literally hold it over the page, take the picture, and then you can edit what you took. You can cut off all the things that don't need to be sent over. It brightens up the paper. It looks a little bit better than just taking a picture of a sheet of paper. When you're finished with CAM Scanner, you don't have to keep it. What I typically do is I scan it, whatever I need to scan, I save it as a PDF or a JPEG, and they tell you what files can be accepted here. So that's docs, PDFs, JPEGs, etc. But I save it as a PDF usually, and then I email it to myself. Then I get to a computer and I open up that email and I download it to the computer, right? So when I get here, it says add a document, and I can say choose the file. I find where I saved it onto my computer, and I'll just use an example today because these will work. This is not what you would be uploading, but this is neutral territory, so I can add this. I click open, and look, there it is. As long as the extension is the correct extension, it'll save. Then I click upload this document, and now it's giving me a green check mark for that area as well. If I uploaded the wrong document, I can delete it before I have paid for the application. As long as I haven't paid for the application, I can make some edits and changes. Recommendations, some of the programs do require an evaluation and a recommendation. Here are the requirements for whatever program you're in. The requirements are going to be different, so the directions are going to be different. And you're going to go in, you're going to click your add recommendation. You're going to create the recommendation, so you type in your first name, last name, and email address. A due date. Do not give somebody a due date of tomorrow. Don't give them a due date of 6 months from now. Give them something that's reasonable, maybe a month and a half, depending. And then you're going to send a personal message. Hey, remember, it's me, Ebony. You said you would do this thing for me. I greatly appreciate you. But you also probably would like to follow up with a phone call to that person, just saying, hey, you should have gotten a recommendation request from Liaison CAS. Could you please complete that for me? And I gave you until this date, so if you need more time, let me know, and you can work through it from there. Waiver recommendation, you pick which one you want, permission to contact and permission to school, and then this area will turn blue at the bottom, and you can send it. And I'm going to show you what it looks like once it's sent. So I did one of these as a test. Val Coley is a co-worker of mine, and the status was requested. It hasn't been completed. It hasn't been submitted. I sent it on April 9th. I can edit this before I have paid for it. You might still be able to make some edits afterwards, like extending the due date. I can resend this recommendation. Okay? I'm going to show you another thing about this. If I go up to my check status, which we talked about in a previous video, and go to veterinary technology, I can see all of my recommendations, overall statuses at the top. But specific to this program, here's the recommendation, and here's that it was requested. Also note that, not required for this transcript, not arrived for this transcript. It's all there. You can track in progress for your application through submitted, through complete. It's in progress, received, complete, and then verified, depending on what program you have. Last couple of things I want to go over with. Check your notifications regularly. So notifications are up here in this with this bell with this number 3, and on the left, view my notifications. And you'll see that I currently have four notifications, but 3 of them have not been opened. Critical alerts and recent notifications are 2 sections you want to check regularly. If there's a problem with your application, that's where it's going to show up. You may get something called undelivered status. Don't freak out. It's okay. It just means there's some things that have to be edited for your application. Read the email that goes along with it or the notification that goes along with it. It will tell you what the problem is. Typically, the problem is a student forgot to add a course or two. They forgot to use more than one semester when adding, they forgot to add a college that they attended, something along those lines. So they're going to tell you exactly what to do. You usually have about 5 business days to resubmit. It does not cost you any more money. You're just hitting submit so they know that it's complete. Go in, try and fix it. If you have a problem, there's a telephone number in that same notification or email so that someone can assist you through that process. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have pretty much gone over everything in the application. Do want to point out at the bottom, contact us, ccbcliaison.com, and the Help Center in particular. But you can also get to the most important information by clicking on the blue question mark at the top of the page. Clicking email will respond ASAP, or going to the Help Center. Those are really beneficial to you and they're going to help you. Be sure to pay for your application. And I don't think I showed you that. So let me show you submit application page. When one of your applications is complete, just like you have this 3 above the notifications bell at the top, you will get a number here. If you're only applying to one program and you've completed that application, you'll have a 1 here. If you're applying to 2 different programs, you'll have a 2 as soon as both applications are satisfied. Mine are not satisfied because I have no intention of paying for this many applications. Again, they're all for demonstration. Remember that once your application is submitted, no changes or refunds can be made, with the exception of adding a grade to an in-progress course. That you can definitely update. So when you have completed an application, one of these areas will turn blue where it says submit. This whole area would be green with a check mark, and you would hit submit, and it will take you to the payment processing portion of this, which I'm not going to go into because, again, I haven't finished the application and I can't get my money back. Take your time, have fun with it, don't get stressed out. Contact us if you need help. I'm going to put the email address for us down in the bottom. Let us know what questions you have. I'm going to go through and talk about transcripts in another video, and it won't be a part, it's just a separate video. So stay strong. You got this. Believe in yourself. No worries, and don't freak out, okay? Remember, don't use Internet Explorer. If you're having problems, check and make sure that you're not in Internet Explorer. Thank you very much from our hearts here at the CCBC School of Health Professions Admissions Office. We really do appreciate your patience with us. Okay, guys, take care. Have a great day, and we will be in touch with you relatively soon.